We continued dating after she finished college, but didn't tie the knot until 6 years later. I helped her pay for nursing school, a few online nursing programs, a nurse practitioner program, any kind of nursing education to help her. I helped her pay for it. I haven't narrated a story that when a man helps his wife advance in her career, the relationship didn't survive. Weird. My marketing firm really took off after the second year. We didn't live together. She was still living at home, and so was I. But after my business took off, I bought a house in Jacksonville, Florida, where I currently live. I always trusted my wife. She didn't give me a reason not to trust her. Once she completed nursing school, she started working at the hospital. She had the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift to start, and then switched to the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift after about 6 months. This scheduling of hers went on for about a year. Then she switched back to the morning shift. We did not have kids. We put off having kids until we got a better handle on our finances, which we did, but the topic of having kids never came up again. We had a routine, sort of. I would make dinner when she worked, and when she was off, she would make dinner. Everything was smooth in the beginning. It always is. We traveled together, had date nights. Every time we had a disagreement, I made sure we didn't go to bed mad at each other, something I learned from my parents. Sometimes she would go hang out with some friends after work. I didn't mind that because I had a circle of friends I would hang out with sometimes. Well, one night she sent me a text saying she was going to hang out with a few of her coworkers after her shift. She said she would be home around 9 p.m. I told her to have fun. Well, she didn't get home until almost 4 in the morning. I confronted her. Good on him. And I told her I didn't appreciate that. We got into a huge fight, and it was physical. Oh, that's not a good thing. I didn't hit her. I pushed her. She called the cops on me. When the police got to our house, she told them I hit her. I told the cops she was lying. They checked her over and couldn't find any bruises. They asked me if I had anywhere to go. I told them I did. So I left the house that night and stayed with my parents for a few days. When I got back to the house, it was strange. She was all over me. We made up like nothing happened. If it was me, I don't know if I would have slept with her knowing that she lied on me in front of the police. I wouldn't take that chance. I thought everything was going to be okay. We talked about what happened. She apologized for coming home so late that morning. She claimed to have lost track of time. Yeah, I bet. I forgave her. By this time, we were at the 10-year mark in our marriage. That was the biggest fight we ever had. So, as time goes on, I notice she starts going out more after work and coming home in different outfits, not the scrubs she left for work. Even when she went out with her friends in the past and went out after work, she came home in scrubs. The old me would have confronted her and asked her why she was coming home in these nice outfits, but I didn't. The last time I confronted her, I got physical and she called the law on me. Our time together also took a hit. Our date nights started to dwindle, and sex wasn't as frequent as they used to be. Well, if you're not having sex, there's a change in the relationship. That's why the intimacy has fallen off. Well, one day when I got home from my office, I left work a little early. As I was walking up to my door, the mailman came up to me and had me sign for a certified letter. No biggie. I have signed for certified letters before, but this letter had my handwritten name on it. That's interesting. When I opened it, this letter dropped a bombshell. This woman told me in the letter that my wife was cheating on me with her husband, and her husband doesn't know. She knows. Sometimes you may find out that your partner is cheating on you from an unlikely source, as in this case. As soon as I saw her phone number in the letter, I called her. When she answered, I told her I got her letter. She immediately told me how she found out her husband was cheating on her. This woman told me she got a flyer in the mail from Victoria's Secret, and in the 16 years they have been married, her husband has never gotten her anything from Victoria's Secret. That is really odd that a man that's been married that long that has never gotten his wife anything from a store that's predominantly for women. Interesting. She immediately knew something wasn't right. So what she did was took a few days off from work and told her husband she was going to visit her parents who live in Pensacola, Florida. But she never went to visit her parents. She and a friend of hers rented a car and followed her husband around. She even told me they followed her husband to my place one night. Apparently, her husband followed my wife back to our place and they kissed right before she walked in. And she even gave me the time and date. I couldn't believe it. I was home that night. She kissed another man right outside our home while I was inside. That's crazy. This woman didn't care about her husband. She was cheating right at their front door. She had some balls. I then asked her, does she have proof of all this? I also asked her, how did she know she was married? She indicated she looked at the real estate records online here in Duval County. I then asked her, why didn't she confront him? She said she wanted revenge and was going to bury him financially. She asked for my email address and said she would send a Google Drive link to me. Within the hour, she sent me the link, and there it was. Pictures of them holding hands, kissing, even being intimate in their home. She said once she got wind of the Victoria's Secret flyer, she set up hidden cameras in her home. I was blown away at what I saw. I just stared at the computer screen. I really didn't know what to do. I was still in shock. About an hour later, my wife shows up and she is crying. You know what? I didn't even console her. I started getting angry and left the house. I walked right past her while she was crying. I drove around for an hour trying to gather my thoughts and decided I needed to talk to a lawyer. I wasn't going to talk to any of our friends. They probably would tell her I knew she was cheating. When I got back home, my wife was in the bathroom with the door closed. I don't know what it was, but something told me to walk toward the bedroom because I could hear her talking and she was telling someone she loved them and missed them. And can we work this out? That was it for me. That's all I needed to hear. I then purposely made some noise so she could hear me. That's when she bolted out of the bedroom and rushed to hug me. I played along and hugged her back and asked her what was wrong. She lied to my face. She said she got reprimanded at work for something she didn't do. I knew she was lying. If you're wondering, I didn't sleep with her. I didn't try to initiate anything with her. The next morning, I had a free consultation with a divorce attorney. Then I went in and talked to him. I told him I wanted a divorce and told him why. Well, he proceeded to tell me Florida is a no-fault divorce state. He basically told me if I didn't like the color of my wife's underwear, I could file for divorce. But I told him my wife is cheating on me, and he said that didn't matter. He then asked me about finances. I told him I had my own marketing firm and my wife was a nurse. He asked about the house. I told him it was both of our names and asked if we had any joint bank accounts. I told him we had one savings account that we both shared and we had 2 credit cards together. I went ahead and filed for divorce that day. Well, everything came to a head about a month and a half later. My wife had gone to visit her parents and she was served with divorce papers while she was at her parents' house. She was in another county. I believe the process server had to be licensed in that county as well. I think I paid extra for it. My wife called me freaking out. I told her, you will find out when you get back why I filed for divorce. She was back by Sunday morning and I showed her why I filed for divorce. Her whole demeanor towards me changed. It usually happens like that sometimes. She started telling me I was neglecting her. I didn't even engage with her. I simply said, okay, and went into the spare bedroom. The next few weeks were horrible. We were strangers living in a house. At the divorce hearing, everything was split 50-50. She got half the savings and the house is on the market as I write this December 8th, 2023. My ex-wife has since moved out. She got her own apartment. I was told by her AP's wife that those two are living together and her divorce hearing should be soon. Well, it didn't turn out well for my wife's AP. He lost a house and has to pay her $1,800 per month alimony for 4 years and $2,000 a month for child support for their 2 kids, which is only for about 2 years, as her kids are almost 18 years old. Well, I guess in some cases, cheating can be expensive. A couple of weeks later, I heard that my ex-wife's AP had moved out, LOL, and moved in with another woman. When I found this out, I changed my number and blocked my ex-wife on everything. I deleted all of our Facebook photos. That's where I am right now. I am getting back into shape and trying to get my head together. Her betrayal broke me. If anyone's going through the same thing, take it one day at a time to heal. I was so embarrassed to share my story, but so many people are going through this very same thing, sometimes worse. Oh, one last thing. My ex-wife came to my office wanting to talk. I told her, don't ever come back to my office. I also told her I would get a restraining order if she came back. She walked away crying. You know, after narrating so many stories, what's wrong with just divorcing your spouse or ending a relationship before cheating? If you are not happy, just leave. Don't put your partner through all these mental gymnastics. Life is too short. If you don't want to be with this person, just get the fuck out. What's wrong with communicating? So many people find it hard to just communicate. You know, just open your mouth. You open your mouth when you started cheating. Why can't you open your mouth and talk to your partner? Until next time,